If you're feeling burned out right now, like you just cannot catch up, and there just doesn't seem to be a better way to keep your head above water, I'm going to give you 3 different ways to get out of the traps that you feel like you're in and start recovering today. Now, by the end of this, you're going to see why the grind is a big lie and how to replace it with 3 mind shifts that are going to protect your energy, spark your creativity, and they're actually going to help you to move forward. And if you don't feel like you're moving forward in the grind, you're right, you probably aren't, but these are going to help you do that. Have you ever noticed how the grind in our creative society somehow just gets celebrated like it's some kind of badge of honor? It's something that we're supposed to aspire to, right? You outwork everyone. Sleep is for the weak. And my favorite of all time, I think, is you can rest when you die. But here's the truth. The grind doesn't make you successful. It just makes you burned out. I've seen this so many times in my career with people that I've competed against, with people that I've worked with students that I've had. Burned out creatives just quit. They walk away. They give up their dreams. They stop doing the thing that they love most. Now, in the grind, you're told that more activity is going to give you more success. If you could just do another 2 hours, another 8 hours, another 10 hours, somehow that's going to make the difference between being where you are now and making you successful. And I'm telling you that the grind is very much like a treadmill. You can run hard for hours on that. You sweat, you breathe hard, your body is working, you're exhausted when you get off, and you realize that you're standing in the exact same spot where you started. And actually, a maybe better way of explaining it is swimming. You see, if you go into the water and you just thrash and splash and make a lot of noise and you're spending a lot of energy, people on shore are going to think that you are making a big effort, that you must be getting somewhere. And that's really kind of the productivity trap that we fall into. We figure if we just put a lot of energy in, no matter what it is, somehow that's going to make us successful. So if constant activity and long grinding hours with pots of coffee are not how you win, well, how do you win? Well, you need to look at your energy equation. Energy is the real currency for any creative. You see, it's not the number of hours that you put in. It's not the amount of effort or how many pots of coffee you had to go through. It's the energy and focus that you can bring. How much creativity, how much of your sharp skills, how much you've really been able to put your heart and soul into something. That's what really matters. I know people who can spend 40 hours in a week. It looks like they're busier than heck. And literally at the end of the week, I could not tell you what they're accomplishing. And I also know people who work 2, 3, 4 hours and accomplish an incredible amount of good. Now, when you're in alignment, when everything is aligned and you're not just trying to grind hours, your energy is going to multiply. If you are grinding, you already know this because you've been through this. It drains you. And eventually you just run out of energy. And like I said, I know a lot of creatives over the years who've just quit, who've just walked away and stopped doing what they love. So if you got to protect your energy, and constant activity and the grind are definitely not the way to win, well, what is? Part of this is that you can't just spend constant energy all the time. Just like batteries, we've got to recharge. So what you need is rhythm. See, the opposite of the grind is not laziness, it's rhythm. It's like music with notes and rests and a beat. Without rests, it's literally just noise, one big long streak of noise until you run out of breath. But with rhythm, with energy inside of that, when you are doing what you need to do, you're doing it very well. And when you aren't, you're resting, you're doing something else, you're recharging. Think about sports figures for a moment. Let's talk about basketball. We see them on the court and they are giving 100%. They are pros. They put a whole lot of energy and effort throughout the entire game. But they're not doing that all week long. They're doing that once a week when you're watching them. You see, they have found a rhythm in managing those professional athletes so that when they do get to the big game and when it really matters, that they can keep that energy all the way through and not just motion and grind, but actual focused quality energy. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, hey, you know what? I have to do more than one thing a week. I can't just do one thing. That's very true. And I actually have a system for myself that's on a 2-week schedule. And every day of those 2 weeks, I have 3 columns of things that I want to get done. The first column is what is most important to get done. And that's where I'm going to focus my energy first. My second column, before I actually get to the second thing that I actually want to get done that day, in between I have what I call a stretch goal. It might be to watch a sunset or take a walk or have a 20-minute workout. It gets me away from what I'm doing for a little while. I just let it go and I focus on something else and the battery recharges. And so now when I hit that second goal of the day, instead of feeling like, man, I'm working 50, 60, 70 hours this week, I feel good. I feel rested. I feel ready. And I can give my best energy. And that is so critically important to keep going in this game decade after decade as a creative. So if the real enemy isn't hacks, we talked about that last show, hacks and influences and try to take shortcuts. And if it isn't the grind is not the way to go and it's certainly not your biggest enemy. Well, what is your biggest enemy? Well, believe it or not, it's your inner critic. Most people will tell you to silence your critic or to ignore your critic or somehow bury him in a closet and tie him up in duct tape. The truth is, I actually think you should hire your inner critic. And we're going to talk about that one on the next show. So remember that energy, rhythm, and alignment are what's going to keep you in this game. And I want you to do one thing before you go. Share this with one creative friend that you know who is literally burning themselves out by just doing the grind over and over and over, because neither of us want to see them walk away from doing what they love.
With every step, let your passion flow.